against other officers who must have crossed him during his line of duty. He was eventually arrested for burning his supervisor's home and was set to be arraigned with the following.
Oh, he got anger problems. Yeah, he got. What up, YouTube? It's your girl, TT Shanell. You clicked the title, you read the page. That means it is reaction video time, and we are reacting to dirty police reacting to their unexpected prison sentences. Now, how could it possibly be unexpected when you know you was out here living wrong? You know you was out here living foul, like Martin said. Yo, listen, what be good with police? One bad apple spoils a bunch. This is a fact. This is a fact. Now, I hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. You're not feeling good. You're not feeling great. This video gonna put you in a better mood. I promise you. We about to be like, what? They did what? Nah, they subscribe for the vibe.
Welcome to.
He looked dirty. He looked dirty. He looked dirty. He looked dirty.
Jackson County Courthouse in Florida. This is 30-year-old Zachary Wester, a dirty.
Now, Zachary, what you was up in there doing, Zachary?
Deputy formerly employed in North Florida. He's been convicted of an array of charges, including planting drugs on innocent drivers, about 67 counts of racketeering, official gross misconduct, false imprisonment, and possession of controlled substances. His crimes originated from routine traffic stops that began with minor traffic transgressions, but unfortunately ended up with innocent people going to jail on fake drug charges, including possession of meth, which was.
And then on top of that, you playing meth on folks? The same meth that you clearly be doing. Because where you get this meth from, Zachary? This is what I be talking about. I'm glad they got his ass. I wonder how much time they gonna give him.
Planted by Webster himself. Many of the victims saw their lives crumble as a result. One of them is Teresa Odom.
I wish you no ill will. And you'll never know what you've done to me until you have children of your own. So.
The prosecution made use of Webster's own body cam videos to incriminate him, as well as other pieces of evidence, including a secret stash of ready-to-plant evidence in the trunk of his patrol car. As far
ready to plant evidence is crazy. Wake up, yo. It's police like this in this world, bro. That's why I don't go back and forth with the police, because some of you are just scumbags, bro. Like, why do you ever got ready to plant? Like, what? He gotta put a nigga in jail starter pack. That's crazy.
As far as what his motives were, the prosecution claims he was an ambitious officer who wanted to move higher up in the hierarchy to the narcotics division, but he vehemently testified that he had no involvement in planting drugs in any of the victims' cars.
Was there ever anything other than that bag, same bag, being palmed in your hand that you later put in your purse and acted like you found out of that purse?
Okay, so what you just presented to this jury is absolutely absurd and not factual at all.
Wester was sentenced to 12 years and 6 months in prison. He had already spent the last 58 days in the Jackson County Jail.
That's not enough. You ruin people's lives. That's not enough.
Since he was found guilty, those days will go towards his sentencing, and he will be transferred to a state prison to serve the rest of his time.
They gonna beat him up in jail.
Now, off to the Seminole County Court in Sanford, Florida, where the one-day trial of 46-year-old Licette Gonzalez has come to an end. She was charged with driving under the influence by a certain Officer Wagner and was found guilty by the jury. At the last minute, Gonzalez's attorney makes one final plea to the judge. He reports that his defendant was not assessed with a breathalyzer or had her blood drawn. Yet, the arresting officer reported that she tested above the limit.
Respectfully ask this court.
Now, this is what I be trying to tell people. Doctors, police, firemen, anybody, they're just like us. They're human. They gonna want to smoke the smoke and drink the drink. Now, I don't drink and drive, and I don't recommend you do that neither. That is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should definitely check yourself into something, because that is not normal. But I say that to say that we as humans, we make mistakes. Some of us be like, oh, snap. I can't believe I did that. Look, somebody dead now. Which is why you should not drink and drive. But I say that to say, stop expecting so much from these police. They just like us, bro. I'm telling you, they just like us. They gonna lose their cool. So you gotta be cool and calm with them. And stop drinking and drive. You should be ashamed of yourself, Licette. What was her name? Licette?
Grant the judgment notwithstanding the verdict.
In a move rarely seen in court, the attorney asks the judge to overturn the jury's verdict and acquit the defendant. The judge then faces the prosecutor, and the conversation becomes heated.
Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing. I am dismissing.
How you telling the judge what he cannot do? She like, you cannot dismiss. He like, I'm dismissing you. I'm dismissed. What are you talking about, shorty? That's the judge. What is up with people not respecting authority? Y'all watch South Park, he be like, respect my authority. Like, y'all, what's good with people?
This charge.
In a strange turn of events, the judge dismisses the charge and grants the defendant a JOA, but he is not done yet.
Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause. You're done. Motion, your JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The defendant, Licette Gonzalez, walks out of the courtroom free of all charges.
Well, it sounds like somebody messed up on that end. Somebody about to get fired.
Next, we go to Waverly, Ohio, at the Pike County Courthouse for the arraignment of Charlie Reeder. The former Pike County Sheriff has been charged with multiple felony charges, including 2 counts of theft in office, as well as tampering with evidence. He was accused in 2019.
He did it. He looked like he did it.
Of funneling money from drug busts to support his chronic gambling addiction. A sum of about $5,000 was allegedly reported. In a pitiful attempt to save face, Reeder said in court that he took the money from the drug investigations and used the cash to help the community. Yeah, right. Like anybody is going to believe that. Right before his sentencing, with tears in his eyes, he gave an emotional speech pleading with the judge to not sentence him to prison.
I stand here before you today to take accountability for my actions. As the Sheriff of Ohio, I should, excuse me.
You're excused with your lying, stealing ass. How you gonna steal drug money? They got the nerve to say you trying to give back to the community. Shut up. You only thought about you, yourself, and I. You probably bought hella donuts, too, with your donut eating ass.
I shed bad light on the office of sheriff.
After the long, emotional speech, the judge only had this to ask of Charlie Reeder.
And the denominations did not match what was taken at the crime scene or from those individuals. I guess, why did you take the money?
As part of his plea, Reeder will not be allowed to work for any public office in Ohio. The judge then sentenced him to a total of 6.5 years, but because the counts will run concurrently, he will only spend 3 years in prison.
I mean, that's reasonable. But that's embarrassing, bro. Then you got the nerve to say you trying to get back to the community. You ain't think about the community not once, boy. You lie.
We are back again in Florida, this time at
he did it. He definitely did it. Yep.
West Palm Beach at the Palm Beach County Courthouse, where police officer Nouman Raja has been convicted of 2 counts, manslaughter by culpable negligence and attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. Nouman K. Raja was arrested in the fatal shooting of a black man who had been waiting for help on a highway after his car.
Knock this nigga head off his shoulders. I told you he did it. He looked like he did it.
Broke down. The killing of 31-year-old Corey Jones, a musician and housing inspector, drew widespread media attention as one in a series of killings of black men by law enforcement officers. Family and friends of the well-loved Corey Jones gave heartfelt messages about him and spoke against the brutality their people had been facing recently.
This should have never happened. My uncle should still be with us alive.
The prosecutors established that Mr. Raja was on duty in plain clothes on August 18, 2015, when around 3:15 a.m., he approached a vehicle that he said he thought had been abandoned on the side. He had a short exchange with the man he found inside the vehicle, Mr. Jones, who was seeking roadside assistance. Mr. Jones had a legally purchased handgun with him. Mr. Raja has claimed that Mr. Jones...
We can't even carry legally without getting popped. This is sad. You see what we gotta go through? You people, you see what we gotta go through? That is a legal gun, and we can't even carry that. Sick.
Jones pointed it at him, but prosecutors say Mr. Raja fired shots even as Mr. Jones fled. Within moments of making his approach, Mr. Raja had fired 6 shots and struck Mr. Jones 3 times.
Cause they keep hiring cat-ass police, bro. I could smell a cat on him, bro. I could smell a cat on him. It's like y'all come to our neighborhoods and y'all shook. Why they don't hire in-house police? You know what I'm saying? What's in-house police, TT? People that come, that's from the neighborhood. But then again, that's because our niggas don't want to be police. But damn, bro. Maybe we should put a change to that. Because this is just sad.
Killing him. The judge stated that, quote, "This has been a heartbreaking case. I think it's had a profound effect on everybody that sat through this trial." He then sentenced Raja to 25 years on each of the 2 charges to be served at the same time.
Good. That's crazy that I didn't hear about that.
This is Michael Dotro, a former Edison cop who...
Not New Jersey. Now that's where I live. I gotta bring this back and listen to this a little bit. Well, a lot of it.
This is Michael Dotro, a former Edison cop who maliciously planned a series of revenge plots against other officers who must have crossed him during his line of duty. He was eventually arrested for burning his supervisor's home and was set to be arraigned with the following...
Oh, he got anger problems. Yeah, he got anger problems. He probably beating up his wife on his free time. Cause ain't no way you go from 0 to 1,000 like that. That's 0 to 1,000,000. Oh, we got a disagreement. I'm burning down your house. What? How did it? We could have squared up. Like how you just skip? What? Which I think his sign is.
Charges: attempted murder, aggravated arson, official misconduct, conspiracy to tamper with a witness, and conspiracy to retaliate. The attempted murder and arson charges relate to Michael Dotro igniting his supervisor's home with 2 gasoline-filled jugs on May 23, 2013. His supervisor was at home with his wife, 2 children, and a 92-year-old mother at the time of the 4 a.m. fire. Although the house was heavily damaged, fortunately, none of them were injured. Dotro remained stone-cold silent for the nearly hour-long trial while the judge laid down some of his thoughts.
Because of what this individual has done, because of him and people like him, victims are afraid to come forward to be part of the criminal justice system.
The attempted murder and arson were not the only legal issues Michael Dotro has fought in recent years. In the official misconduct case, Dotro was accused of checking police records and informing his wife of reports related to a tire slashing incident involving a woman he was reportedly involved with. Dotro also pleaded guilty to a count of conspiracy.
Oh, he just was abusing the shit out of the police system.
Admitting he sought revenge against a North Brunswick police officer who had ticketed another individual for drunk driving. This Dotro guy doesn't sound like someone who leaves vengeance to the Lord. He wants revenge all to himself. Dotro received 20 years for attempted murder, 10 years for aggravated arson, 10 years...
I'm about to say 20 years is too little. He could have killed somebody.
...years for official misconduct, 5 years for conspiracy to tamper with a witness, and 18 months for conspiracy to retaliate. All the prison terms will run concurrently. Welcome to the Miami-Dade courthouse, where 51-year-old Lester Bohnenblust has been convicted of...
Hey, yo, Lester Bohnenblust? Hey, yo, you hear this nigga's name?
Welcome to the Miami-Dade courthouse, where 51-year-old Lester Bohnenblust has been...
Bohnenblust sound crazy. Yo, say you would meet somebody and that's their last name. I'm not taking your last name. Bohnenblust?
convicted of attacking and slamming a male nurse to the ground at the Jackson Memorial Hospital. He was charged with 1 count of battery on a person of 65 years and older and 1 count of false imprisonment. According to the arrest report, the confrontation between the two started after the officer's mentally troubled niece was discharged from the hospital. Her father then brought her back the next day, but doctors deemed she didn't meet the criteria to be readmitted, and the father was told to schedule a follow-up appointment. The father called in his brother in the force, Lester Bohnenblust. Upon arriving at the hospital, the nurse said he couldn't discuss the patient's affairs in an area where other patients were being treated and led Bohnenblust to a more private area where the officer grabbed the nurse by his jacket and slammed him to the floor. According to police reports, the video shows Bohnenblust grabbing Nicholson from the back of his jacket, prompting the nurse to pull back and tell him, "Get your hands off me." He was discharged from the force after this incident, having served there.
That's called abusing your power. He felt like, cause I'm a cop, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna get some shit done. I'm gonna just go in there and be a cop. I'm gonna do the whole cop thing, right? You thought you was tough. That's what happened when keeping it tough goes wrong.
There for 20 years.
Count 1, battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and guilty on 1 count of false imprisonment.
This was what the nurse, 66-year-old James Nicholson, had to say about the traumatic event. Nicholson is currently retired with an injured knee.
To a point where I was yelling at the top of my lungs, help, help. What happened to me that day should not happen to anybody, especially a healthcare worker.
Bohnenblust's relatives were in tears Friday as
Bohnenblust just sounds so funny. Did they keep saying this shit?
Miami-Dade County Judge Marissa Tinkler Mendez handed down his sentence. Bohnenblust was sentenced to 45 days in jail and must also serve 3 years of probation after his
45 days. That healthcare worker could have broke his back. Now he out of work. Now the lines all backed up in the healthcare field because of Bohnenblust.
Release and perform 100 hours of community service. Welcome to Ravenna, Ohio, where former Brimfield Township Police Chief David Oliver has been charged with 4 misdemeanor charges, including unlawful restraint, attempted theft.
He looked like he just sit at the office and eat wild donuts all day, all type of donuts. The new donuts, the limited edition donuts. He just loves donuts with jelly. And sometimes the jelly gets on his shirt. So he just give you that vibe.
Simple assault and unauthorized use of property. The police chief, who garnered a small Facebook following for blunt, humorous commentary about the criminals he calls mopes, was hit with a fresh dose of karma, as the judge in charge of his sentencing called him a mope himself.
You become the mope that you wrote about in your book.
David Oliver was visibly resistant as he pleaded no contest to counts including attempted theft in office and sexual assault involving a female officer, Crystal Casterline, who accused him of sexual harassment.
I guarantee you that Crystal punched me as much as I punched her.
Crystal Casterline.
What in the world is going on here?
An officer who worked under David Oliver told the judge that he was the one who harassed her and demanded that the plea agreement was not enough punishment.
I was a marathon runner. I loved life. I snuggled my little girls constantly, and I was naive. I never...
This nigga look like Peter Griffin.
Understood domestic violence, how he gets that far.
Oliver became visibly enraged when he heard some of the other things Casterline mentioned.
Hugs escalated to groping, me, trapping me places, and forcing me into positions where he would press his body into mine, forcing me to dance with him.
Oliver disagreed with many of the allegations, but he pled guilty to all charges just so he could move forward with his life. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and restitution, and he will never be a police officer again in his life. Welcome to New Jersey at the Essex County Superior Court, where Bloomfield police officer 35-year-old Shawn Courter has been charged with conspiracy to commit official misconduct, tampering with public records, falsifying public records, and...
He probably was stalking his shorty. He gave me stalking his girl vibes, but let's see.
And false swearing. On June 7th, 2012, Officer Shawn Courter was called to Marcus Jeter's home when he and his girlfriend got into a verbal argument, and Jeter voluntarily left the home and the environs. Courter followed Jeter onto the Garden State Parkway and stopped him. Courter tried to get Jeter to exit his vehicle, but he refused, saying he feared for his life. Courter then immediately called for backup. When backup arrived, their vehicle hit the front of Jeter's car. Courter then broke the window, and with help from his backup, he dragged Jeter out of the car. After the incident, the officers wrote police reports stating that Jeter attempted to snatch Courter's gun and that Jeter struck one of the backup officers. Based on those reports, Jeter was charged with eluding, resisting arrest, aggravated assault, and attempting to disarm a police officer. Based on newly discovered evidence, the prosecutor dismissed all charges against Marcus Jeter and opened an investigation into the officers that
That's what happened when you lie and say they reach for this and they reach for that. Listen, police, no one's ever gonna believe that, okay? Unless it's like some type of dude who has history of mental illness, no one's gonna believe that a black man went and reached for your gun. Or a black woman. No one's ever gonna believe that bullshit lie you guys come up with. So shut up. It's not gonna work. Maybe it worked in 1976, but it doesn't work now. There's cameras everywhere. No one's that stupid. Yeah, sorry.
Resulted in the grand jury returning an indictment against the officers. Prior to his sentencing, he had this to say to the judge in the entire Essex County courthouse.
I love my children more than anything in the world, and I know they need me. I don't want them to have to suffer, switch schools, lose friends, lose the house that they're raised in.
The victim himself, Marcus Jeter, was present in the courthouse. He also had this to say about Shawn Courter, as well as the entire ordeal itself.
Chose to say that I resisted. He had a choice. I'm not saying that that messes his character up. I'm not saying that he's not a good guy. I'm just saying that in a situation like this where he has an obligation, a moral obligation to tell the truth, he chose not to.
Following a conviction of official misconduct and tampering with records, Essex County Superior Court Judge Michael Raven sentenced the former Bloomfield police officer to 5 years in.
That's what you get. Because I'm sick of y'all cops lying, talking about he's resisting. He tried to go for my guy. Stop lying on us.
State prison. Welcome to the state of Oklahoma, where a former police officer of the Oklahoma City Police Department, Daniel Holtzclaw, has been.
This nigga look pussy. Look, I was just about to say he looks soft, and then look, he crying.
Charged with multiple counts of rape, sexual battery, forcible oral sodomy, and other sexual charges. Holtzclaw was accused of sexually assaulting multiple women of African American descent over the
let's listen to this.
Period between December 2013 and June 2014. He strategically targeted those from a poorer, majority black portion of the city. According to the investigators, Holtzclaw ran background checks on women with outstanding warrants, pending parking tickets, or other criminal records, and carefully targeted them to be his victims. Holtzclaw, who had been on paid leave until he was eventually charged in August 2014, was terminated.
Why was he even on paid leave? Like, this is the shit that pisses me off.
From the Oklahoma City Police Department in January 2015, and his trial began on November 2nd, 2015.
Mr. Holtzclaw, this jury finds you guilty of the various counts.
Now you want to cry? I hope they knock his head off his shoulders in it.
You will be remanded to the custody of the Oklahoma County Sheriff for formal sentencing set January 21st, 2016 at 10 o'clock a.m.
He pleaded not guilty to all charges, but on December 10th, 2015, he was finally convicted on 18 of the charges, with the jury recommending that he serve a whopping 263 years in prison. Insisting that evidence was withheld from the defense, Holtzclaw's attorney requested a new trial, but the request was immediately denied.
Thank you. Serve all 236 of them. Hoping you die, come back, you're still in jail.
By the judge. If you enjoyed this video,
we did. Subscribe.